I am Dvaipayan Chakravarti and I'll be speaking on India's problem of bad debt. As the conditions of banks are an indicator of national economic health, India's ride to high growth looks bumpy. The core problem are bad loans that accumulated after a period of indiscriminate lending over the last decade. Several large companies in industries like mining and infrastructure have amassed huge debts due to irrational optimism, miscalculation, and unfavorable global macroeconomic events. Largely, the problem lies in the state-owned banks that account for 70% of the banking system by assets. Former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan tried to correct this by directing public sector banks to clean their balance sheets of stressed assets by March 2017, which now seems unlikely. The extent of the problem became apparent when Rajan decided to introduce an asset quality review of banks in 2015-16, which brought to the fore significant discrepancies in the reported levels of impairment and actual positions, and hence led to increase in the provisioning requirement for banks according to the RBI's report on trends and progress of banking in India 2015-16. To quantify the extent of the problem, the country's largest lender, State Bank of India's gross NPAs skyrocketed 147% to rupees 98173 crore in March 2016 from rupees 39676 crore in March 2012, forcing it to raise its provisions for bad loans from rupees 42,366 crore to provisions for bad loans to rupees for 42,366 crore from rupees 23,858 crore. Higher provisioning led to profits decreasing to rupees 12,743 crore from rupees 15,829 crore in the same period. The major indicators of a bank's profitability, return on equity and return on assets, also nosedived, turning negative in 2015-16. Loan recovery also is nowhere near the rising NPAs. Public sector banks could recover only rupees 19,757 crore in FY16, a 29% fall from previous year's figure of rupees 27,849 crore. The total bad loans of PSU banks today stands at 16.6% of their total loans. As a result of higher provisioning for bad loans, state-owned banks suffered losses amounting to rupees 18,000 crore in 2015-16. The reason the AQR forced them to reclassify restructured loans that could have become regular loans as NPAs. This meant many such loans had to be written off and more money set aside to cover bad debt. Because of the stress, banks because of the stress, banks have frozen lending to the corporate sector, bringing commercial activity to a standstill. Because 90% of the investment in the corporate sector is through a banking channel because of limited financing options with no developed corporate bond market in India. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 passed in May last year will give banks power to foreclose and provide certainty of the outcome on defaulting borrowers within 180 days. According to a CRISIL Associam joint study, the move could potentially release about 25,000 crores of capital locked up in NPAs over the next 5 years. It goes on to add that the bankruptcy law can help India's banking sector reach the recovery rate of 32% and the average time of 2.8 years. The recently established Bank Boards Bureau, headed by former CAG of India Vinod Rai, to help professionalize the boards of state-run banks, has failed to make a big difference. As the majority stake shareholder, the government might have to bail out these banks in a package similar to the US government's troubled asset relief program. Two things are vital as per RDI board member Kumar. Clearing the bad debts by monetizing public sector assets so that the banks can start lending again and ensure that the happenings of the past should not be repeated. As per estimates, public sector banks will require nearly $28 billion. According to the latest budget, the government plans to infuse fresh capital of rupees 10,000 crore into banks during FY18. This is much lower than the 25,000 crore allocated last year, which was considered insufficient even then. The government can always raise finances for a bailout by monetizing public sector assets, and that is what it